This episode of the Crack House Chronicles is brought to you by BetterHelp. Is there something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals? BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist.
You can start communicating in under 48 hours. This is not a crisis line or a self-help line. It's professional counseling done securely online.
Now, Dale, this is a broad range of expertise that is available, which may not be locally available in many areas.
Yeah, this service is available for clients worldwide.
Worldwide?
Worldwide.
Worldwide. And you can log into your account anytime and send a message to your counselor. You'll get a timely and thoughtful response, plus you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions, so you don't have to worry about sitting in an uncomfortable waiting room and waiting on a traditional therapist.
Yeah, which is really good in this time. You don't really want to go and sit in the waiting room with a bunch of people with the stuff going on that's going on today.
Sit there with a mask on and, yeah,
it's no good. BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches. And if you don't like your counselor, it's pretty easy to change.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
It's more affordable than traditional online counseling, and financial aid is available.
That's always good right there.
That's awesome. Yeah. And BetterHelp wants you to start living a happier life today.
That's right. So visit their website and read the testimonials. They're posted there daily.
All right, Dale. Visit BetterHelp.com/CHC. That's better, HELP. And you can join over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional.
That's right. In fact, so many people are using it now, they're actually recruiting counselors in all 50 states. So a special offer for our listeners, you can get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/CHC. You got to use the code word betterhelp.com/CHC.
Hey, what is up, everyone? Welcome to the Crack House Chronicles. I am Donnie, your host, and with me is a man that says that if he is ever murdered, his chalk outline better be holding a beer. It's Dale.
That's right, because that's about the way it is.
What's going on, man?
Oh, not much. What's up with you?
Glad to be back in the Crack House and record an episode. We had life and things get in the way.
We've had that happen the last couple of weeks, and I think we're about ready to get back on track.
I think so, too. You got any shout-outs for us?
We do have a few. I'd like to shout out to SinMen19 out in Las Vegas. They become a pretty good fan and always keeping up with us and make sure we're all right out here. And they come along from being a reference from Unknown Passage Pod, who we'd like to wish happy birthday to Felicity, who was her birthday was yesterday as we record. Today is the 10th.
Yeah.
And I'd like to give a shout out to my wife Kimberly, who we had an anniversary yesterday as we recorded today, the 10th on the 9th. And happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
All right, then.
How many years?
Damn, you got to ask the question. 14?
14 years.
14, I think.
You better know. Yeah. You better know how many years it is. At least you know the date.
I do know the date.
That's it, man. All right, Dale. We want to remind everybody, too, to keep a check on our social media. Check it on our Instagram, Facebook, our website.
And our YouTube channel.
Absolutely.
It was quickly approaching 30,000 downloads last time.
It's over 30,000.
Is it really?
It's over 30,000.
Dang.
And also,
we appreciate every one of them.
Yep. Check out the website, our store page, the merch, the T-shirts, the mugs.
We'll have some new designs coming up soon.
Absolutely. And get on there and get you a Crack House T-shirt, man.
Yeah, everybody needs a Crack House T-shirt, man.
Absolutely.
I got several.
Yep. I got a few, too. I love them. They wear good. They're comfortable. And they wash good. They don't fade.
That's right. And you always get a good compliment on them.
Yep. They're quite flashy.
They are.
All right. We're going to get into our episode, man.
What we got going on today?
We have a serial killer from Ohio by the name of Shawn Grate.
He was extremely handsome. He had a great smile and sweetness about his eyes. He was very kind and very compassionate. I fell head over heels in love with him. Sparks were flying and I was smitten. I got pregnant in November and then we got married in December. But then as the normalcy of marriage set in, he started to seem very restless. Shawn always demanded things sexually. He was forceful with me. It was his way or no way. Even going to church, he was angry and upset. He would be in the shower and scream you at me. One time he put his hands around my neck and pushed me down into the bed, and I instantly felt fear. Looking in his eyes, it seemed like a darkness there. When I found out Shawn was cheating on me, I confronted him. He just packed a bag and he left. I remember vividly praying over him and our marriage, but there was no other option than to divorce. Shawn started sending me some threatening messages. He told me he was going to put my family's names in a hat and he would start taking care of them one by one in the grand finale. He also said if he could not see his daughter, then no one was going to see her. I got a restraining order against Shawn because I was afraid, but then things settled down and I felt like maybe it's okay to see him again. One night I was missing him and we got together. Then things got physical. He tried to rape me. That was the last time I saw Shawn face to face. When I learned about Shawn's arrest, I was in total shock. I could not believe it. It could have been me. For whatever reason, he did spare my life.
He was born on August 8th, 1976 in Ashland County, Ohio. And
so this one's fairly recent still.
Very recent. And he went to River Valley High School. And just a background on River Valley High School, like I said, he graduated in 1995, but in 2003, they opened up a new campus there because the old campus had to be closed due to the possibility of cancer-causing chemicals at the old campus.
I wonder what was going on with that.
I don't know.
It's been something in the ground, you reckon?
There's no telling. But, you know, that's sort of a little background on Shawn Grate. His full name is Shawn Michael Grate, and today he is 44 years old. And he is a convicted serial killer from killings from 2006 and then in 2015 and 2016.
Right.
So he skipped some years there, or there's a lot of killings we don't know about.
Right, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, he's convicted of 5, but they could be more in there.
Yeah.
And maybe down the road with DNA and all that stuff, maybe they'll find out some more stuff.
Yeah, plenty of murders and rapes and kidnapping and stuff in his background.
Now, Shawn Grate was always charming, always smiling, and all the ladies said he had those big blue eyes, and all the girls liked Shawn. And even a classmate of his, Amy Smith, who knew him, said that about him, and knew him as a teenager from Marion, Ohio. But women also found him to be controlling, jealous, and violent, even at an early age, at 18.
So he was a lady killer in more than one way.
Very much a lady killer. When he was 18, he was arrested for grabbing his girlfriend's by the throat.
Yeah.
And by age 23, he broke into a 17-year-old pregnant girlfriend's home and choked her and later threatened to kill her. Yeah.
He got in trouble for that, didn't he?
He did.
And he sentenced him for 4 years?
Yeah.
Which he only served 7 months?
Be about 7 months.
Yeah.
And 8 months later, he assaulted the same woman and her sister while holding a butcher knife and hiding all night under her couch.
So apparently he didn't learn much in them 7 months.
No. Hiding in a couch. How do you hide in a couch?
I don't know, Donnie. Of all people, we should know.
Yeah. I mean, hide in a couch. I mean, yeah. I used to do that when I was a kid, get behind the cushions or something, but, you know, as an adult, I just don't see hiding in the couch.
There's not much room in there.
Yeah.
Tall and lanky. So.
Yeah, he is described as about 6'1" or 6'2", about 175, 180 pounds.
Yeah. Some of these pictures of him, he looks pretty strung out and really lean.
Yeah. Now, one of Shawn's teenage girlfriends believes that he might have begun to experience some mental health issues in his late 20s. And he would put all his effort into a project, work as hard as he could, and then a couple weeks later, just give up on it.
Right.
It was like he couldn't follow anything through or see anything through.
Well, it was like he's having some serious depression problems, too, because they wouldn't never get off the couch. He'd just lay there for days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he'd just give up on everything.
So I'm sure something was going on.
And even this girlfriend said female friend of hers who even dated Shawn, both before 1999 and after they finally broke up with him because of erratic behavior. And she'd been concerned that he just wasn't acting right all this time.
Pretty smart to get out when you can.
Yep.
Truthfully.
Now, a female by the name of Christina Heddrith met Shawn Grate in 2005 and ended up dating him for 5 years while living in Crawford County. This is in Ohio. And she said he was very handsome, quite charming, and he had a way of looking at you like you were the only person he saw.
That's in my eyes.
It makes me want to believe that, he found weaknesses in people and preyed on that.
Yep. Yeah, that seems to be a good trait that a lot of serial killers have.
Yeah. If they had a drug problem or something, he would capitalize on that, or if they had something else going on, he would.
If they needed some attention, he knew how to pick them out pick out the weak ones.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess you'd say.
But later, talking about this Christina Heddrith, they moved in together at the same residence, and he started showing a side that was cold and indifferent. He wanted to be himself.
Right. Well, it's probably harder for them to hide that when they're living together. If
Yeah.
it's just visiting for a couple hours, then you can be somebody else.
Yeah.
Right.
But when you're with somebody all the time,
Yeah.
that's when everything comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, his escalating violence, Shawn lived with his mother in Marion after his parents divorced. He turned 18 in August of 1994, and he graduated in 1995, like we said. And Shawn's mom...
Yeah, his mom got custody originally of him and his older brother.
Yeah.
But then she later gave up custody to her dad.
Mm-hmm.
And shortly after that's when he got arrested for his first offense, when he assaulted his girlfriend, like you said.
Yeah.
In 94, right?
Mm-hmm. But, it's not clear that if he had a juvenile record.
No, I couldn't find anything
No.
like that.
Because his first adult arrest came just 14 weeks after his 18th birthday while still in school.
Yeah.
And, at that time, juvenile records would be expunged.
Right.
So it's hard to tell if he had anything going on like that.
So it's kind of like a lot of them where they have a broken home kind of background, but there wasn't no evidence of much abuse that I saw or anything. It was just kind of like just a broken home.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of, our episode we recorded on Randall Woodfield. His juvenile record got expunged, and there was nothing on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a lot of that was because he was a star football player.
True.
They was
But,
trying to make something out of him.
yep.
But he wasn't helping them much.
No. And, even according to police records, his girlfriend at the time had been trying to get out of the relationship for up to 6 months. And the same girlfriend that was with him in 1996 when she reported another domestic incident. But her and Grate had a child by then. It's almost like he seemed to be involved in nonviolent crimes except when dealing with females, especially those.
He was dating.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a control freak, I guess.
Yeah. Exactly. Shawn, he moved on to felony when he and a juvenile committed a burglary. And he was sentenced to 4 years in prison in 1997. But, like I said, he received early release a few months later.
So is that twice? Did he get?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
So that's another thing. Like a lot of them, you get in trouble and then you get right out. So
yeah, it's like he's not getting punished for anything.
right.
But his violence escalated in 1999 when he was 22, and when his 17-year-old girlfriend, who was 2 months pregnant with a child, told police he choked her, and she almost passed out. But Shawn spent less than a month in jail for that, and her family sought a restraining order against him, and the ex-girlfriends asked the judge to remove the no-contact order for a few months later, try to keep him away from her.
Did he or did he not? When she asked her for it to be removed, he didn't remove it. Did he?
No.
Right.
And
So that just tells you how good he is at manipulating.
yep. And Shawn Grate's second child was born on September the 11th, 1999, which is, as of recording this episode, is tomorrow.
Oh, well.
Today is September 10th. So, but they had that new baby girl on September 11th, and the baby didn't seem to help the couple's relationship, Dale.
No, I'm sure.
And about a month after his son was born, Grate approached the baby's mother and her sister with a butcher knife. And in a struggle over the knife, the ex-girlfriend sustained a severe cut to her finger, and Grate was also cut several times.
Do we know what this is about? Is it just him flipping out?
Yeah, just flipping out, man. And it sort of stepped up his game a little bit because he was using a weapon.
Yeah, now he's,
Yeah.
not just choking. Now he's went to the knife drawer or whatever.
Yep. And the incident led to Shawn Grate's longest stint of incarceration. And in 2000, his early release was revoked, and a judge sentenced him to serve the remainder of his original 4-year sentence.
Right, so where he got out early before he went ahead and just said, no, you need to go on and finish that out.
Yeah. And the former Marion County prosecutor, Jim Slagle, who is now a judge, said his office sought a separate prison term for his new conviction, but the judge, Robert Davison, sentenced Grate to probation on the new charges.
So he made him finish out his old sentence.
Then got probation.
Yeah, on probation on top
Yep.
of it. I got you.
Yep.
So he's building up speed here.
Yeah, it's like it's getting more and more violent with abuse, and I don't know. He's just getting out of hand. Grate was released in January of 2003. Now, by October of that year, Grate got in trouble again with the mother of his second child, who accused him again of choking her and forcing her to perform a sex act on him. And although he was not charged with a sexual assault, Grate was charged with 2 counts of misdemeanor domestic violence and returned to prison for 7 months before being released in May of 2004. So he gets something, then he gets prison, and he gets out.
Yeah, and it's just like a repeated cycle here.
Yeah.
Over and over.
And it looked like he tried to straighten up, because for the next several years, it shows that Grate was involved in some minor issues with the law, but although he admits to killing an unidentified woman in Marion during 2005, but this was later on.
Oh.
Yeah. It was later, down the road. We're going to get to that, but
Okay.
but somewhere in 2005, he admits to killing a woman, but it was later on. Now, this Christina Heddrith, she was the 5-year girlfriend of Shawn Grate that she met in 2005, and after they began living together, Grate was upset with her because the children were there and characterized him as mentally abusive for the most part, although some of their incidences were violent. But the worst came in June of 2010, and that's when Christina told the police that she'd been had been assaulted by Grate, including multiple blows to the face, being grabbed by the throat, and part of her hand was also fractured, and said that it was fractured when she actually raised it up to defend herself.
Right, so she threw her hands up, try to save herself, and he broke her hand.
But she was able to get Grate to let her go to the emergency room and initially told the staff there that she had fallen.
But so later when he left the room, when she went and told the nurse exactly what had happened, and then when police were notified, he found out and took off running. He escaped them that day, but they caught him 4 days later.
So pretty much she told him in front of him that she had fallen, but then after he left, she told him the truth.
Right.
He was very violent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he'd have done that.
Yeah. And part of his mental problems, Dale, this Christina Heddrith also said that he would write letters to her cats.
So I wonder if that was because I'm sure that she got some kind of what do you call it, 50B, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like some kind of restraining order or something. So I wonder if he thought he could get around that by writing letters to the couch, by writing letters to the cats instead of to her.
Could be.
That's what I thought when I first heard that part. I'm like, I don't think he's Looney Tunes as far as that bad as writing letters to the cats. I think he was trying to dance around that restraining order.
Yeah, address them to the cats.
Yeah. I ain't writing.
That's so crazy, man.
So I don't know which is worse, actually, but that's what I put that off to be.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but that's very possible.
Yeah, you still going to get the letter, but I'm not writing it, quote, air quotes, to you.
The cat didn't have a restraining order against him.
Right. We're still talking to the cat.
That's so messed up, man. That is so messed up. We're talking about all this, Dale. It seemed that Shawn Grate just charmed the ladies. And he had no problem finding new girlfriends at all.
No, he had them stacked up.
Yeah. And even after physically and sexually assaulting them in several cases for years. And he effectively covered his tracks after each incident. I mean, pretty much.
Yeah.
And it's like he had a psychological need to control people.
Especially them.
Yeah.
But he kept getting away with it too. So.
Yep. And a lady by the name of Nancy Radcliffe, she was the director of the Sexual Assault Services and Helpline of Delaware and Mora counties, even said that he was charming and violent descriptions of Grate are not mutually exclusive. But Radcliffe had worked in the field of intimate partner violence for more than 25 years, both as part of her current position and in other roles. And in research about partner abuse, a more expansive definition she used, there is likely a Jekyll and Hyde model of abusers. It's almost like, describing Shawn Grate.
Yeah, like two different people.
Yeah. All right, Dale, that's just a little bit of background on Shawn Grate, but we're going to skip ahead.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about what brought him down.
The infamous 911 call?
The infamous 911 call.
Yeah.
Now,
that's pretty damn creepy.
Yeah. Now, on September 13th, 2016, there was a 911 call placed. And the woman that called, her name has been redacted, but we'll just refer to her as Jane Doe. And she was being held captive by Shawn Grate.
Yep.
In it was almost like an abandoned house, but I've been told and heard that it was like a house that was used for storage, for clothing.
Yeah, could be.
For needy people or something.
Right.
Homeless or something.
No one was living there.
Yeah, it was an abandoned house.
Right.
And
it was a big house, too.
Yeah, we've got pictures we'll post on our website of all this.
Right.
But he managed to break in, and he was holding this girl captive.
Yeah, basically hostage.
Yeah.
She had been abducted.
For 2 days and sexually assaulted.
Right. Drugged up and peeled up.
Yeah. But she managed to free herself.
Yep.
And we're going to have this 911 call that we're talking about at the end of our podcast. It's about 15 minutes long. And Dale, I'm going to tell you, it is the creepiest 911 call I've ever heard.
Right.
And I encourage everyone to.
It's a long listen, but it's intriguing.
Very well worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will give you cold chills listening to this.
Yeah.
But she managed to call 911 and whisper to the operator.
Yeah. While still tied up, bound. Well, she had freed herself and reached over and grabbed his phone, but first, while he was sleeping in the bed next to her.
Yeah.
And when she first went for it, she actually grabbed a taser instead, so she had to do it twice, poor thing.
Yeah, I don't think he had a weapon. I think all he had was a taser.
Just that taser, yeah.
Yeah, but all this will come out in a 911 call.
Yeah.
But listening to it, it takes 20 minutes for the cops to get there and rescue this poor girl.
Right.
But once the cops get there and they rescue this girl, they discover a foul odor.
Yeah, when they were going through the house, they come in. Well, I guess a spoiler, but they come in, they rescue her and arrest him.
Yeah.
But then they start searching the house.
Yeah, they do.
They go upstairs in one of the bedrooms and they see a closet door that's been completely duct taped shut.
Yeah.
It's just duct tape covered. And when they cut it open, it's just a real.
The odor hits them.
Yeah, and then that's when they find a body.
Yeah, but it's buried up under a pile of clothing.
Yeah, naked. It's been restrained. Hands and feet are restrained and been strangled.
Yeah.
Already decomposing.
And this was the body of Elizabeth Griffith.
Yes.
And she had actually been missing for about a month.
Yeah, she had went missing on August 16th.
Yeah.
She was 29 years old, and she was last seen near a Walmart on US 250 East near Ashland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, she just seemed missing.
And so they found her body. And then when they kept searching the house, they went down in the basement.
Yeah.
And that's where they run across yet another one.
A woman by the name of Stacy Stanley, who was also known by Stacy Hicks.
Right, and she was 43. Yeah, and she had last been seen at a BP gas station, also in Ashland. And she had actually made a phone call that night to her family because she had had a flat tire. and she was trying to get some help with the flat tire. And while she was on the phone with her brother, I believe, she said, "Never mind, there's this nice gentleman has just shown up and he's going to help me with my tire."
Nice gentleman.
So she helped him with the tire. No, we don't know if he ever got the tire fixed or not, but that was the last I ever saw her.
It just shows you he's preying on a weakness.
Right.
She has.
And even said that her family they knew something was wrong and they tried to report her missing to the police, but she had a history of addiction and stuff, so the cops just basically blew it off as that she's probably on another bender, and they didn't really even take it serious. But yeah, so it was Shawn who had shown up to help her with her tire.
And she was just reported missing.
So and when they found her, she was in the basement. She was also dead, been strangled under a pile of clothes and some trash. And it was pretty easy for them to ID her because her purse was still laying there with ID and everything in it.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad.
Crazy stuff, man.
Yeah.
But we get back to this famous 911 call. This poor girl, Jane Doe, they won't, say her name.
Right.
But talking to this 911 operator. But Jane Doe had some patience, man.
She was they say she was a really religious person, and even she wouldn't even do anything with anybody. She had known Shawn for about a month and a half, according to the call.
Mm-hmm.
And they had went out for coffee or stuff here and there, but as far as anything romantic, she was completely against it because that was against her values. And her faith is what got her through.
It had to.
Whether you believe anything or not, but her faith got her through this mess. Because she is so calm and collected on this phone call.
Oh, yeah, and whispering.
Yeah.
And him laying next to her,
right
asleep.
This is crazy.
That is the craziest thing I've ever heard. But she had some patience talking to this 911 operator. And if I'd ever met this 911 operator, I'd kick her butt.
Yeah.
I mean, she
was just rude.
Yeah, she really was.
It's just, especially as the way it comes across. I'm like, good Lord, lady.
Yeah, asking her some of the craziest questions. And I don't know if she was just trying to keep her on the line. And I thought, too, that it might have been they thought maybe it was just a domestic dispute.
Yeah, could be that, or maybe they didn't even know if it was real, because she didn't give her an address. It was basically, I'm at the house beside the laundromat, or whatever, So I was trying to think of that same thing, like looking through her eyes. She's like, is this really real? Like, why don't you just leave? Why don't you just, I'm like thinking,
just walk out.
And on the other side, this girl's been tied up, and, even where she tried to get her stuff loose, it would strangle her. And this one time she can get free and call for help, and you're going to give her a hard time about it.
But he rigged the doors, too, where they make noise.
Yeah.
And she tried to get out.
Right. So if she'd opened up the door, he'd know right then.
But, he left the phone there and the taser. But I guess he just assumed that he had her tied up.
Right. Well, said that he would give her some kind of pills, like antidepressants or something, because he said it would take the edge off of whatever he was going to do to her.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming maybe he was on some pills too, and he was probably out.
Yeah.
Because otherwise he would just woken up, I think. Because, one time she flipped out because he thought he was waking up.
Yeah.
And that's when it kind of got real tense.
And she even set the taser off too, didn't she?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I think she set the taser off. Yeah.
She should have set it off on him.
And he woke up. And that's when, she freaked out. But he went back to sleep, so he had to have been on something, too.
Yeah, I think he was on pills, too, or something. Either that or had been up a couple of days. Or, you don't know because there's not a lot of info on that, but that's the way it seems to me.
Mm-hmm.
I figure if he was giving them to her to take the edge off, he had them taking them himself.
Yeah. But apparently according to the 911 call, she didn't have any clothes on, and he didn't either.
Right. Yeah, definitely. She said definitely he didn't, and so she didn't.
Yeah.
Of course, what was going on the last couple of days, said basically he'd done anything he can think of, anything and everything.
He had
to that girl.
Homemade sex toys that he was using too, didn't he?
Yeah, sure did.
Yeah, he had rigged up devices to use. Can't imagine this poor girl what she went through in those couple days.
Right.
But
I wonder if she knew those other girls weren't even in the house.
Probably not, and the smell.
Right.
Maybe she just thought it was a dead animal or something. Got in a crawl space or something. Can't imagine, man.
So apparently he'd done the same thing to them girls, and then stuck one in the closet, took the other one downstairs, and then I think he even drew her in. Like I said, they had known each other for a while, and I think he had got her to come there on the pretense that she was going to give him some clothes or something, or was giving her something, and then that's when he got her to go with him, and then he abducted her and took her there.
Yeah. All right, we're going to get into an interview that Shawn Grate did to Channel 19 News in Ashland County, Ohio. And there's no audio of this, but there is a transcript, and Dale and I are going to do this interview. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I'm going to play the part of the interviewer, and Dale will be doing the voice of Shawn Grate. And this is going to be good. And this is just going to give you an insight on the mind of Shawn Grate in this interview. It's not a very long interview, so we want to make sure that we get this out. Anything you'd like to say before we get started?
I'm learning this was out of behavior for me. I had to cover everything up. It was tearing me up all those years, knowing what I'd done. I'd have these thoughts like, dang, I had to face myself every day.
Were there any influences that you were exposed to, like the show Dexter?
What's that?
It's a show about a forensic scientist for the Miami Police Department, and when they had bad guys get away, he's a vigilante and kills them.
I never heard about it. I didn't have any influences. It was all internalized. I feel like I always prayed to God. It's hard to forgive yourself. You have your moments.
Let's talk about these women you confessed to murdering in 2005, believed to be Dana or Diane.
Yeah, she was trying to sell me magazines. I remember her trying to sell them to me. Me and my mom would be on the porch, and she'd try to sell them. My mom said she wasn't getting her subscriptions delivered.
What was her name, Diane or Dana? I know you admitted to Marion County Sheriff Tim Bailey that was her name, Dana or Diane?
Dana. I would say Dana, yeah, 99%.
What happened with that?
Well, she came to the house, and tried to tell me that she would pay for half the subscription if I paid the other half. I knew she was scheming me.
So there's a pretty big gap between Dana in 2005 and the next woman in 2015. What was going on during that time?
I was in jail for child support, in and out of jail.
How many kids do you have?
3. One was Steph, a daughter named Kaylee. She's 18 or 19 now. She's remarried. A son named Dylan who lives with my mom. He plays football. He's 17.
Oh, really? What position?
They move him around to different positions a lot.
What about your third kid?
Violet? Yeah, she's 4.
Oh, that's a great age. Have any of your kids visited you since all this went down?
No.
What about Rebecca Lacy? The coroner ruled that to be drug-related.
I knew Rebecca. One day we were out playing pool at the bar, and I went to use the bathroom, and I heard my money clip zip. She had stolen $4 from me.
But the coroner rules it as an overdose.
Yeah, she was on something. She was a prostitute.
Let's talk about Candace Cunningham. You two were dating for how long? Was she pregnant?
No, she wasn't pregnant. We were seeing each other for about 7 months. She was pretty violent and suicidal. I turned her into a psych ward for a week. Then we fought at the house in Richland for 3 or 4 days. The next day we'd get up and go for walks, and she would have a runoff, and she could have run off and told the police at any time. She would take handfuls of pills at a time, and I would just give her some water.
How did you kill her?
In the house.
Then you burned the house down and went back for her body? Why?
Well, I had to hide her.
Now the next woman, Elizabeth Griffin. How did you meet her?
At the Croc Center, we would hang out and play games.
Yahtzee, right? I think I read that in a report.
Yeah, and some other games too.
What happened with her? Why kill her?
I'm trying to justify it as compassion. The short time I talked to her, she cried several times, just about life and how she couldn't find anybody to love her. She had mental illness. Candace was beating herself up too. They tried to put me on them psych pills too, but I didn't want anything to do with anything controlling my brain.
Are you remorseful?
It's about 50-50. All I wanted to do was show Elizabeth. I'd say, give me a hug. We're all in this together. And I'd choke her until she said she wanted to live. She just didn't.
What about the woman you abducted who called 911? Did you meet her at Stone Creek apartment along with Elizabeth too?
Yeah, we were going to get married. I wasn't going to kill her. She was very religious. She encouraged people, helped them see who they were. I would play badminton with her at Stone Creek Apartments, and Elizabeth would be there.
Was she helping you?
Yeah.
Are you religious?
I feel I've always been religious.
How about Stacy Stanley? Did you just see her have a flat tire and that's how you met her?
Yeah.
Did you ever tell anyone that you killed women before?
Yeah, in ways. I broke down crying for a long time to a few different women. Then I'd say something to confuse them.
Are you a sex addict?
Sex is a weakness, but you got to have control over it.
So you've confessed. Why not plead guilty in court?
I admitted it. I told my attorney that if he said it again in court, I'd speak up.
Have you killed anyone else, or just the 5? Why not admit it all at this point?
No, they're just the 5. Let me see your list.
And he holds up a list of victims up to the glass.
Right. Yeah, there were 5.
Are you afraid of the death penalty?
I admitted it. I feel I deserve the death penalty, but I also feel I can help some people in here. My problem is everyone telling me what to do. I'm just trying to free myself of what I've done. I'm afraid of the death penalty. I have cases in Richmond here, in Marion, and there's time. I'd like to die on my own, not by the state. My attorneys keep telling me not to talk to anyone. I don't need you. I'm guilty.
Is there any statement you'd like to release to the public or the victims' families, the loved ones that are missing the victims?
I'd like to ask those who know me to forgive me and the victims' families, the loved ones that are missing the victims.
Anything else you'd like to say?
Yeah, my bunkmate is crazy. He's an F3 or an F4 registered offender.
Have you ever messed around with kids?
No, I like older women, except for Candace. She was younger, but more of a friend.
Well, thank you for your time.
Well, thank you.
Dale Grate was indicted on a total of 23 counts in connection with the murders of Stacy Stanley, Elizabeth Griffin, and kidnapping and rape of an unidentified woman who managed to escape and call for help. One that was in the house, that made the 911 call.
Right.
So, Dale, Shawn Grate's trial for the Ashland crimes began 2 weeks of jury selection on April 9, 2018. And the trial began with opening statements on April 23rd. And on May 2nd, Shawn Grate pleaded guilty to the 15 charges against him. And on May 7th, Shawn Grate was found guilty of murdering Stacy Stanley and Elizabeth Griffin. Those were the 2 women that were found in the house.
Right.
And on June 1st, Shawn Grate was sentenced to death, and with an initial execution date to be set upon conviction for September 13th, 2018. But the execution was stayed due to a pending appeal to the Ohio Supreme Court.
And Shawn Grate, sentenced to death. The convicted Ashland killer learned his fate today in a packed courtroom with a sea of purple honoring those victims' lives. Channel 3's Amani Abraham was there as the victims' families spoke.
I've been waiting a long time to see you, man.
Following weeks of Shawn Grate's murder trial, families of the victims didn't hold back their words when they spoke directly to the man convicted of killing Stacy Stanley and Elizabeth Griffith, both found dead in his home as a third woman escaped.
You took advantage of that woman and my mother like they were nothing. That doesn't make you a tough guy. It just makes you evil.
Hours before he would learn his fate, Grate spoke directly to the victims' families.
I can't say I'm normal, but I know right from wrong. I ask you maybe forgive me. Find in your heart someday. I know not today, someday.
His words followed by more than an hour of victim impact statements, family expressing their heartache left behind, and a feeling that his punishment does not fit the crime.
Real justice would be for you to come with me for about 5 minutes, burn in hell.
You are evil. God tells me to forgive you. And only because he said it, I'll forgive you, but I don't feel it in my heart.
You're a sadistic murderer.
Death by lethal injection. The judge's ruling followed the jury's recommendation.
Court further orders that each of the death penalties be carried out by appropriate authorities on September 13, 2018, which would be the 2-year anniversary of Mr. Grate's discovery. Now,
I'm jumping ahead just a little bit to March 1st, 2019. Shawn Grate pleaded guilty to the murders of Rebecca Lacy and Candace Cunningham and was sentenced to life in prison without parole for the murder of Lacy and 17 years to life for the other charges. The sentences are to run consecutively.
Shawn Grate has already been sentenced to death in the murders of 2 Ashland County women. Today, he pleaded guilty in the deaths of 2 more women in Richland County. And tonight, Grate says he wants to talk to officials in a 3rd county about a murder case there. Amani Abraham was in the courtroom as this all went down. Disturbing, to say the least, Amani.
Yeah, that's right, Sarah. Grate was already sentenced to death last year in Ashland County, but today he got another life sentence for 2 more murders, and he may be connected to yet another in Central Ohio.
I couldn't even look at him.
For Candace Cunningham's mother, staring into the eyes of the man who killed her daughter was something she couldn't do. Instead, her words were read by a victim's advocate.
You are a heartless individual who deserves to die a cruel death like what you did to Candace and all the other young women.
In May, Shawn Grate was sentenced to death for the murders of Elizabeth Griffith and Stacy Stanley after a long trial. Today in Richland County, he changed his plea to guilty to killing Cunningham, found behind a burned-out house in 2016, and Rebecca Lacy, who was found in 2015. But Lacy's father doesn't believe Grate killed her. In a victim impact statement, he says Lacy struggled from a drug addiction and questioned the investigation. Still in handcuffs, Grate signed his guilty plea and spoke briefly.
It's going to be hard to forgive me, but just apologize for my actions.
Nobody even knows his name, and I'd like to keep it that way because there's no reason for anybody to know exactly who that man is because he's worthless.
Grate's attorney also spoke about Grate's interest in talking to authorities in Marion County.
They also have a case of this magnitude as it relates to Shawn.
We contacted the sheriff's office there, and they say Grate confessed to killing a woman more than 10 years ago. Her body found in 2007, but Grate says he didn't know her name. Officials are still working to identify her and have since only been able to release a sketch.
He had no right to take these ladies' lives that have family that love them.
His sentence of life without parole is in addition to his death sentence out of Ashland County, although an appeal has been filed in that case. As for the Jane Doe in Marion County, officials say they are moving forward with familial DNA testing in hopes of identifying the woman and working on a connection back to Grate. Back to you, Sarah.
Okay, thank you, Amani.
So after he got caught, he went ahead and told him about the other
Yeah.
one. And he actually took him to where the bodies were.
Yep. And on September the 11th, 2019, Shawn Grate pleaded guilty to the murder of Diana Lowry and was sentenced to life in prison without parole plus 16 years.
So is that the one he was 99% it was Dana?
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. So that's pretty much Shawn Grate, Dale.
But so I guess he's still in prison.
Yeah, he's still awaiting execution. But we want everybody to, make sure they listen to that 911 call.
Yeah.
That is the creepiest call I've ever listened to.
Yeah, it's well worth a listen.
Absolutely. All right, you got any thoughts or comments on Shawn Grate?
No.
Before we close out?
No, I don't think so. I think he's just, I don't know, power driven.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. I don't really have a lot to. We don't really know a lot on him.
And it's just one of them serial killers you just don't hear much about.
Well, and you don't really hear about much as far as serial killers now. It's always, either they got better at hiding or we're not seeing them as much. It's not like the infamous ones from the 80s, that got all the hoopla, and like this guy's really recent.
Yeah, and stuff just came out last year on him, so this is very recent. So we may hear more down the road on him.
Right.
Maybe some more victims that he didn't confess to.
Let's hope not.
All right. Here's the 911 call, and then we're going to get out of here.
All right, man.
We want everyone to be safe, be careful, and always be aware of your surroundings.
Because the next episode could be about you.
This is
the Crack House Chronicles.
What is the address to your emergency?
By the foot.
Street Laundromat.
What is it?
4th Street Laundromat.
What's the problem?
I've been abducted.
What's your name? How do you spell your last name? Who abducted you?
Shawn Grate.
You said John Green?
Shawn Grate.
Where's he at now?
Asleep.
Where's he sleeping at?
In the bedroom.
In what bedroom?
There's 2 houses right by the laundry street. And it's in one of those houses.
But you're at the laundromat?
No, I'm in the bedroom with them.
What color's the house? Is it across? If I'm looking at the laundromat, which way is it?
If you're looking in the laundromat, it's the one on the left of the 2.
You don't know what color the house is?
Yellow. Please hurry.
Does he have a car?
No. Well, he's down the street.
So what's your phone number you're calling me from?
I don't know.
And you think it's a yellow house?
I think so, but it's on the left.
Is it an apartment?
No, it's a house.
Okay, does he own the house?
No, he broke into it.
Does anybody actually live there?
I think they've been abandoned.
And his name is Shawn Grate?
Yes.
Like Grate?
Yes.
Does he have a weapon?
He's got a taser.
Where do you live? What does he look like? Is he a white male or a black male?
White.
Is he like 6 foot or is he shorter than that?
He's like 6'1", 6'2".
Do you know how much he weighs?
Probably 175.
Are you injured?
A little.
What color is his hair?
Brown.
Do you know what color his eyes are? What's he wearing?
Nothing right now.
Okay, stay on the phone with me. Stay on the line with me, okay? Is he still sleeping?
Yes.
Where did he take you from?
My apartment. I mean, I was walking with him.
You were walking with him?
Mm-hmm.
Where were you walking to?
His place. I had known him for like a month and a half.
Is there any way you can get out of the building?
I don't know without waking him, and I'm scared.
Is there a bathroom in the house?
Well, his bedroom is closed, and he made it so it would make noise.
And if you told him you had to go to the bathroom, he would do something to you?
Yeah, because he had me tied up.
So are you tied up now?
Well, yeah, but I kind of freed myself.
Is he in the same room with you?
Yes.
Is it his phone you have?
Yes. Are they on the way?
Yeah, we have officers we're sending.
Please send enough.
Okay, if you're worried, you don't have to talk. You can just set the phone down, okay? I just need to hear if the officers find you or not. Are you upstairs or are you downstairs?
We're downstairs. There's a door. There's a side door on the right of the left house, and that's before we enter, immediately there's a kitchen right there, and then the bedroom is right off from the kitchen.
Okay. Do you need an ambulance? Are you bleeding from anywhere?
Not anymore.
Where were you bleeding from? You don't have to talk if you don't need to, okay? Do you know where you live?
No. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I woke him up.
You just set the phone down. Are you still there? Are you still there?
How much longer?
What?
How much longer?
Do you hear any officers outside?
No.
Okay, they're in the area.
See if they can come in the side doors, softly.
Is there a padlock on the bedroom door, or is it just a regular lock?
No, I don't even know if it's locked. It doesn't have a knob, so.
Can you get up and see if you can get out?
I'm afraid of waking him. If I knew the cops were right there, I would do it. I don't even know if it opens, how it opens.
Is there a window around there you can look out?
Yeah, but the floor squeaks in. It's right by his head.
Are you laying down?
No, I'm standing right by the bedroom door.
And you can't open it?
What?
Can you open it?
I'm afraid without making noise.
Is the door to the house open?
I don't know, probably, maybe. I don't think he has a key, I'm not sure. Because I think he broke in here.
Can you see out any window that you're at?
They're all curtains shut.
What's that? What's that noise?
I don't hear anything.
If you think you can get out, you need to get out.
Not unless they were right here. He would hear me, catch me, and he's strong.
He's on the first floor. Are you at the house closest to the laundromat or the other one? Are you the one closest to the laundromat or the other one?
We were standing in the laundromat looking at the two houses. It would be on the left.
Here, look out of the laundromat. So if you're looking at the laundromat, be the one on the right. At the laundromat. She said if you're looking at the laundromat, it'd be the one on the left.
Side door. Side door.
And the side door. The side door to the right.
Okay, I can hear him.
You hear him? Okay, do you think you can get out? Are you out of the bedroom?
Yes. It doesn't have a doorknob. You need to push.
The door doesn't have a doorknob?
No.
Can you see them?
No, have them push the door.
He said push the door. Are they on the other side of the door?
Yeah, I think so.
She said have you guys push the door. There's no doorknob there.
Just push it slowly. I think no.
Can you get out of the bedroom?
And the door is doesn't have a knob.
Looking right on the net. It's on the net. If you're looking at the laundromat, come in. The same thing. Can you hear anybody right now?
I heard the side door open.
She heard the side door open.
Where'd they go? I'm out of the bedroom.
You're out? Okay, can you get to the door where you can see out? Huh? Can you get out of the house? It's locked. Are you at the door?
Yeah, I am.
She's at the door. You're on the door to the right-hand side of the house.
Yeah.
She's at the door on the right side of the house. She got out of the bedroom. Is there a window there?
Yeah, I'm looking out and they tell me to come back.
She said,
hurry, hurry.
She said to hurry up and come back. Can you?
Yeah, they can see me if they come to it.
The door is locked. No, the bedroom door had no door handle. This one, it's locked. You can't get out. Can you unlock the door at all?
Come on out. Hurry up. Get out here. Where is he?
Bedroom sleeping.
Still sleeping?
Yeah.
Okay, they have her.
He's unarmed.
He's unarmed?
Yeah.
All right. You need to go. Hang on. Where are you? Oh, okay. Go on in. Here's the blanket. Well, if you can't be in there, here, cover yourself up. Tell me what happened. What happened?